Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Nipunika Shahid with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds virtual summit with his Netherlands counterpart, says working together for supply chain in Indo-Pacific. Over 9 crore 43 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines administered so far. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad rejects claims of COVID vaccine shortage in the country. Complete lockdown imposed in Raipur district of Chhattisgarh till 19th of April to curb rising cases of coronavirus. All shops in Bihar to remain closed till 30th of April amid rise in COVID-19 cases. Weekend lockdown enforced in all cities of Madhya Pradesh. Elaborate arrangements in place for the fourth phase of assembly elections tomorrow in West Bengal. 11th round of talks between India and China underway at Chushul in eastern Ladakh. Government initiated several key projects for development of infrastructure and industries in eastern region of the country, says Prime Minister. Prince Philip, husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II, passes away at the age of 99. And in cricket, 14th edition of Indian Premier League kicks off in Chennai. Opening match underway between defending champions Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all precautions, and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India and the Netherlands are working together for supply chain in Indo-Pacific region. Holding the virtual summit with the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, this evening, Mr. Modi said the relationship between the 2 countries is based on shared values of democracy and the rule of law. He said they are also developing convergence in new areas like Indo-Pacific resilient supply chains and global digital governance.
हमारे संबंध डेमोक्रेसी और रूल ऑफ लॉ जैसी शेयर्ड वैल्यूज पर आधारित हैं। क्लाइमेट चेंज, टेररिज्म, पैंडेमिक्स जैसी वैश्विक चुनौतियों पर हमारी अप्रोच एक समान है। इंडो पैसिफिक रेजिलिएंट सप्लाई चेन्स और ग्लोबल डिजिटल गवर्नेंस जैसे नए क्षेत्रों में भी हमारे बीच कन्वर्जेंस बन रहा है। आज हम अपनी स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप ऑन वाटर से इस सिलसिले को एक नया आयाम देंगे।
Mr. Modi added that establishment of fast-track mechanism for investment promotion also gives new momentum to strong economic cooperation between the 2 countries. He expressed confidence that post-COVID period, many new opportunities will be generated in which like-minded countries can enhance mutual collaborations. No fresh case of COVID-19 has been reported in the last 7 days in 149 districts, while 8 districts reported no new case in the last 14 days. There are 3 districts where no fresh case of coronavirus has been witnessed in the last 21 days, and also in the last 28 days, 63 districts reported no new case of infection. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan informed this while chairing the 24th meeting of the high-level group of ministers GOM on COVID-19 through video conference today. Dr. Harshvardhan expressed concern over the rising cases of COVID-19 in the country. He said casual approach and laxity adopted by the people towards COVID-19 appropriate behavior resulted in sudden spike in the fresh cases. He assured that all the facilities required to tackle rising cases are maintained well. On the vaccination front, the minister said India is doing the rapid vaccination and over 9 crore 43 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered in the country so far.
Today at 9 o'clock, the latest figures suggest that 9 crore 43 lakh 34,262 doses have been given to people in India of the various priority groups. And in the last 24 hours itself, we have given 36 lakh 91,511 doses. This figure, in fact, in last week, we one day even gave 43 lakh doses. This is probably the highest given anywhere in the whole world.
Our correspondent reports that yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the chief ministers of various states regarding COVID-19 situation through video conference.
During the meeting, the Prime Minister appealed to the states and union territories to organize vaccination festival or Tika Utsav with a view to vaccinate maximum number of eligible people against the coronavirus from 11th April to 14th April. 11th April is the birth anniversary of Jyotiba Phule and 14th is the birth anniversary of Baba Saheb Ambedkar.
11 अप्रैल ज्योतिबा फुले जी की जन्म जयंती है और 14 अप्रैल बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर जी की जन्म जयंती। क्या हम 11 अप्रैल से 14 अप्रैल पूरे अपने राज्य में टीका उत्सव मना सकते हैं? एक पूरा वातावरण क्रिएट कर सकते हैं टीका उत्सव का। एक विशेष अभियान चलाकर हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा एलिजिबल लोगों को वैक्सीनेट करें, जीरो वेस्टेज तय करें। हम 3-4 दिन जो है टीका उत्सव में जीरो वेस्टेज हो, वो भी हमारी वैक्सीनेशन कैपेसिटी को बढ़ा देगा।
Mr. Modi called upon the youth to help in getting everyone above 45 years of age vaccinated. He also urged the states for 100% vaccination of 45 plus population in the high focus districts. During the meeting, the Prime Minister also stressed on the need to focus on test, track, treat, COVID appropriate behavior and COVID management. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad today rejected former Congress President Rahul Gandhi's claim of COVID vaccine shortage in the country. He said India is not facing vaccine starvation, but Mr. Gandhi is facing what he called attention starvation. He also questioned Mr. Gandhi for not taking COVID vaccines so far. In a series of tweets, Mr. Prasad alleged that Congress-ruled states are not facing vaccine shortage but of basic commitment towards healthcare. Questioning Mr. Gandhi's letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi with regard to COVID vaccination, the minister said he should write letters to Congress-ruled states to concentrate on administering the lakhs of vaccines they are sitting upon. Mr. Prasad also said fighting a pandemic is not a one-trick game. Apart from vaccination, there needs to be adequate focus on testing, tracing and treating. The minister also accused the senior Congress leader of lobbying for pharma companies. Earlier, in a letter to the Prime Minister, the Congress leader had questioned the government's decision to export coronavirus vaccines and demanded to allow vaccination for everyone who needs it. He also sought more say to the state governments in vaccine procurement and distribution. A total of 131,968 new cases have been reported in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the cumulative positive cases to over 1 crore 30 lakh. In the same time period, 780 deaths were reported, taking the toll to over 1,67,000 across the country. 10 states including Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Rajasthan have shown a rise in the COVID daily new cases. Over 83% of the new cases are reported from these 10 states.
Amid surge in COVID-19 cases in Chhattisgarh, total lockdown has been imposed in Raipur district from this evening. The lockdown will continue till the 19th of this month. Chhattisgarh Board of Secondary Education has also postponed the class 10th and 12th board examination. These exams were scheduled to be conducted from the 15th of this month. Earlier, the state government had announced that students of all the classes except those from classes 10th and 12th will be promoted to a higher grade without examinations. More from our Raipur correspondent.
The number of corona-infected patients in Chhattisgarh is increasing steadily. A total lockdown has been imposed in Raipur district from this evening. In order to effectively implement the lockdown in the capital Raipur, a flag march was carried out on the main roads of the city under the leadership of the collector and senior superintendent of police of the district this evening. The lockdown in Raipur district will continue till the morning of April 19. In Rajnandgaon, Bemitra and Balaur districts of the state, the lockdown will begin from tomorrow. And in Jashpur district, the lockdown will be imposed from April 11. In Durg district, lockdown has already been effective from the 6th April. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Uttar Pradesh government has ordered for 50% attendance in government and private offices of 4 districts in state. The order has been issued for Lucknow, Kanpur, Prayagraj and Varanasi. Offices in these cities will work with 50% capacity only and the rest will work from home. A roster for this will be prepared by the head of the office. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed officials to perform vaccination of the target age group on priority basis in districts like Lucknow, Prayagraj, Varanasi, Kanpur, Gorakhpur, Meerut, Gautam Budh Nagar, Jhansi, Bareilly, Ghaziabad, Agra, Saharanpur and Moradabad.
The Bihar government announced closure of all shops across the state from this evening till April 30. After review meeting with high officials, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said all religious places across the state will also be closed for general public. Schools, colleges and coaching institutions have been instructed to remain closed till 18th of this month. In case of scheduled examinations, the schools and colleges will have to strictly follow the COVID-19 protocols. Chief Minister categorically said that there will be no night curfew in the state. 33% attendance will be allowed in government offices and special vaccination campaign in the state will be launched from 11th to 14th of this month. Kerala continues to report a surge in COVID-19 cases with 5,063 new COVID-19 cases being confirmed in the past 24 hours. We have a report.
2,475 recoveries were also reported today. Presently, 36,185 patients are undergoing COVID treatment in the state. 22 more deaths were confirmed due to COVID today, taking the death toll to 4,750. Meanwhile, State Health Minister K.K. Shailaja said that a special action plan is formulated to contain the COVID spread in the state. The number of ICUs, ventilators and COVID treatment centers will be increased in the coming days. Mrs. Shailaja urged the people to strictly follow the COVID guidelines and further said that, as per the Sero Surveillance report, 89% of the people in Kerala has not contracted COVID infection yet. Accordingly, the vaccination drive will be intensified across the state and more vaccine doses are being requested from the centre. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Amid a huge surge in COVID-19 cases, the Maharashtra Public Service Commission has postponed the exam for the state's subordinate service non-gazetted Group B combined preliminary examination that was slated to be held this Sunday. The decision was taken in a meeting chaired by Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. All government and private schools in the national capital have been closed till further orders in view of the surge in COVID-19 cases. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal informed this in a tweet. The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar from AIIMS Patna will participate in the discussion. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by #AskAIR.
Indian Railways today said there is no plan to stop or curtail train services in the country. Speaking to media in New Delhi, Railway Board Chairman Sunit Sharma said no request has been received from Maharashtra government to stop or curtail movement of trains in the state. He asserted that there is no shortage of trains for those who want to travel. Mr. Sharma added that crowds seen at railway stations are normal during these months and railways will increase the number of trains as per request. Currently, Indian Railways is running 1,402 special train services on an average day. In Madhya Pradesh, a complete weekend lockdown has been imposed in all cities from 6 this evening. The lockdown will continue till 6 a.m. on Monday. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that the number of positive patients is increasing in the state and the country and it is necessary to maintain patience and tolerance. Other necessary arrangements for treatment of patients and prevention of corona infection are also being made. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds virtual summit with his Netherlands counterpart, says working together for supply chain in Indo-Pacific. Over 9 crore 43 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines administered so far. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad rejects claims of COVID-19 vaccine shortage in the country. Complete lockdown imposed in Raipur district of Chhattisgarh till 19th of April to curb rising cases of coronavirus. All shops in Bihar to remain closed till 30th of April amid rise in COVID-19 cases. Weekend lockdown enforced in all cities of Madhya Pradesh. Elaborate arrangements in place for 4th phase of assembly elections tomorrow in West Bengal. 11th round of talks between India and China underway at Chushul in eastern Ladakh. Government initiated several key projects for development of infrastructure and industries in eastern region of the country, says Prime Minister. Prince Philip, husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II, passes away at the age of 99. And in cricket, 14th edition of Indian Premier League kicks off in Chennai. Opening match underway between defending champions Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. Elaborate arrangements have been made for the fourth phase of assembly elections in West Bengal tomorrow. The polling will start at 7 a.m. and will conclude at 6:30 in the evening. The state is witnessing 8-phase elections. The voting will take place for 44 seats in 5 districts in the fourth phase. The districts are South 24 Parganas, Hooghly, Havra, Cooch Behar and Alipurdwar. Over 1.15 crore voters will decide the fate of 373 candidates. More than 12,310 polling stations have been set up for this purpose. Bharatiya Janata Party and ruling AITC are contesting for all the 44 seats, while Congress, left parties and their alliance partner Indian Secular Front are fighting under the banner of Sanyukta Morcha. CPIM has fielded 22 candidates, BSP 13, Congress 9, AIFB 6, ISF 4, RSP 2 and CPI 1. There are 153 independents along with 73 others also in the fray. Now we go live to our Kolkata correspondent Madhuparna Chaudhary for polling preparations. Madhuparna, what arrangements have been made for the pollings tomorrow?
Yes, Nishit, all arrangements are in place. Polling personnel have reached the polling stations and they are now busy in last-minute preparation. I have been to Santoshpur Vidya Mandir Girls High School a short while ago, which is an all-women managed booth under Jadavpur Assembly constituency of South 24 Parganas. Polling will be held in 30 seats of South Bengal and 14 seats of North Bengal tomorrow. Heavy deployment of security forces has already been done. Almost 800 companies of the central forces are there and another 178 companies have been kept as reserve. As the polling part is concerned, more than 20,000 control units, ballot units and VVPATs will be used tomorrow. 54 observers will be monitoring the polling process. 6 constituencies of South 24 Parganas come under Kolkata municipal area. To manage the overall law and order situation, 33 Deputy Commissioner rank officers of Kolkata Police will be there. The Commissioner of Police has already ordered to take immediate action in case of any problem is reported. And not to forget, as COVID cases are on the rise, all the guidelines are being followed. Nishit?
Yeah, Madhuparna, who are the prominent candidates in the fray in the fourth phase whose political fate is going to be decided tomorrow?
Well, in this phase, so many heavyweights are in the fray. Union Minister Babul Supri of the BJP has locked horns with the State Sports Minister Arup Bishwas for the Taligan seat. Minister and Trinamool Congress Secretary General Partho Chatterjee, Ministers Arup Roy, Indranil Sen, Tapon Dasgupta from the TNC, former Minister Rajiv Banerjee, MP and actress Loket Chatterjee of the BJP, Leader of the Left Legislative Assembly Party Sujan Chakraborty, Opposition Leader of the State Assembly, Congress candidate Abdul Mannan are among the heavyweight politicians. Apart from them, former footballer Bidesh Ranjan Bose, former Bengali Ranji captain Manoj Tiwari, actors Josh, Shravanti, Payal and Kanchan Mollik, they are also among the important candidates from South Bengal in the assembly election tomorrow. Over to you, Nishit.
Thank you so much, Madhuparna, for the update. Poll preparations are also in place in Cooch Behar and Alipurdwar districts in North Bengal tomorrow. 42 candidates are contesting for 5 seats in Alipurdwar. In Cooch Behar, 70 candidates are in the fray for 9 assembly seats. We are now joined by our correspondent Manas Pratim Sharma, who is at Alipurdwar district and is covering important districts of North Bengal going to polls in the fourth phase. Manas, what security arrangements have been made in these districts to ensure free and fair polling?
Well, Nisit, all security arrangement has been put in place to ensure free, fair and safe election tomorrow. At Alipurduar district, there are just over 1,700 polling stations, and at Coachbihar district, there are 3,229 polling stations. Half section of Central Armed Police Forces have been deployed in each polling station. 50% polling booths would be covered by webcasting facilities. There would be zonal magistrate. There would be micro observers. At Alipurduar, 400 micro observers have been deployed. Apart from that, state police will also assist them. So, all security arrangements have been put in place by the district administration, by the Election Commission of India. Back to you.
And what are the main issues which dominated the campaigning in this phase?
Well, the various issues have been raised by the political parties during their campaign in these areas, specifically at Coachbihar and Alipurduar. The three main fronts, BJP, Trinamool Congress and Sangyukta Morcha, they have raised certain issues. The BJP have said that they would implement the central schemes if they voted to power. They would also say to implement the 7th pay commission scales for the West Bengal government employees. TMC have raised the alleged price rise of gas, petrol, diesel, and both the parties have also raised the issues of TU workers' welfare. They promised to increase the daily wages. BJP have mentioned the 1,000 crore rupees package in the union budget for the development of TU workers in Assam. Apart from them, in Coachbihar district, there are sizable populations from Rajbangshi community. Both the BJP and TMC tried to woo them. BJP promised to start a Narayani Sena in the line of other paramilitary forces, and the TMC also promised to start a state battalion. Apart from that, the Sangyukta Morcha have also raised the development issues in this area. Back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Manas, for the update.
The 11th round of talks between India and China is underway at Chushul BPO in eastern Ladakh on the India side. Our Leh correspondent reports that corps commanders of both the countries are to discuss disengagement from the remaining friction points in the region. The army commanders are meeting today after the 20th of February. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held talks with his Kazakhstan counterpart Lieutenant General Nurlal Yermebakiev in New Delhi today. During the meeting, the two ministers exchanged views to further strengthen bilateral defence cooperation in various fields. They agreed that both sides must look at the possibility of defence industrial collaboration of mutual interest.
India today conveyed its concern to the US after a Navy ship of that country carried out freedom of navigation patrols in its exclusive economic zone EEZ off the coast of Lakshadweep Islands. The External Affairs Ministry said that New Delhi has conveyed its concern regarding the US through diplomatic channels. The ministry said India's stated position on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea is that the convention does not authorize other states to carry out in the EEZ and on the continental shelf military exercises or maneuvers, in particular those involving the use of weapons without the consent of the coastal state. It added that the USS John Paul Jones was continuously monitored transiting from the Persian Gulf towards the Malacca Straits. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asserted that government is committed to enhance the growth of the eastern parts of the country that has been neglected for far too long. The Prime Minister was speaking at the book launch ceremony of the Hindi version of the Odisha Itihas written by Dr. Hare Krishna Mehtab in New Delhi today. Highlighting the special projects for the northeastern states and eastern region, Mr. Modi said the government has initiated several key projects for the development of infrastructure and industries in the region. The Prime Minister stressed that history should not only be a lesson of the past but should also mirror the future. Mr. Modi said the country is keeping this in focus while celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and enlivening the history of the freedom struggle.
आज देश अमृत महोत्सव में आजादी के इतिहास को फिर से जीवंत कर रहा है। आज हम स्वाधीनता सेनानियों के त्याग और बलिदान की गाथाओं को पुनर्जीवित कर रहे हैं ताकि हमारे युवा उसे न केवल जाने बल्कि अनुभव करे, नया आत्मविश्वास के साथ भर जाए और कुछ कर गुजरने के मकसद से नए संकल्पों के साथ आगे बढ़े।
The Prime Minister Narendra Modi today bowed to the spiritual leader and social reformer Shri Shri Harichan Thakur on his Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said his life and ideals continue to give strength to several people. His values are reflected in the kind and compassionate nature of the Matua community.
The Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, is celebrating its 71st Foundation Day today. Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at Indian Embassy in Beijing celebrated ICCR Foundation Day today in the presence of a huge gathering of ICCR scholars in China and their disciples who learned Indian dance and music. On the occasion, the ICCR has unveiled Little Guru app, world's first gamified Sanskrit learning app, which was jointly launched in Beijing by Ambassador Vikram Misri and renowned Chinese scholar on Sanskrit and Indian studies, Professor Wang Bangwei. Many Sanskrit professors from Peking University and the students were also present. Our Beijing correspondent has filed this report.
Ambassador Vikram Misri highlighted ICCR's role in promoting cultural, academic and intellectual exchanges between India and the rest of the world. He said nearly 300 students in China in the last few years have availed ICCR scholarship and hope that more Chinese students will avail of this scholarship. Appreciating the launch of Sanskrit Guru app, Professor Wang said that outside India, China has a very long history of Sanskrit research along with studies on Buddhism. This year, ICCR has also announced 2 new fellowships dedicated to music, Bhimsen Joshi Fellowship for Music, Ustad Ghulam Mustafa Khan Fellowship for Music, to encourage research in the field of Indian music. ICCR also launched a vlogging competition for foreigners on their experiences about India. The videos were shown which were submitted by Chinese students in India. Renowned ICCR scholars Ms. Jin Shanshan, a Bharatanatyam exponent, and Ms. Yu Feifei, a Kathak exponent, also gave captivating performances. They also expressed gratitude to ICCR for giving a new direction to their lives. Chinese kids who are learning Indian dance forms also gave a beautiful presentation. India is also celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to celebrate 75 years of independence, which was the prevailing theme of the entire event. Anshuman Mishra, AIR News, Beijing.
Britain's Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II, passed away today at the age of 99. The prince married Princess Elizabeth in 1947, 5 years before she became queen, and was the longest-serving royal consort in British history. President Ram Nath Kovind has expressed grief over the passing away of the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind said he is saddened to learn about the passing away of the Prince Philip, friend and admirer of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveyed his condolences to the British people and the royal family.
In cricket, the 14th edition of Indian Premier League kicked off in Chennai this evening. The opening match is being played between defending champions Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore at the Chepauk grounds in the city. Put into bat, Mumbai were 141 for 4 in 16.4 overs when reports last came in. Earlier, Bangalore have won the toss and opted to field against Mumbai. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to witness strong surface winds during daytime. Temperature will hover between 16 and 37 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will expected to be around 33 degrees. Chennai is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 25 and 36 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. Leh is expected to have partly cloudy sky with minimum temperature around -4 degrees and the maximum around 10 degrees. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad is likely to have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds virtual summit with his Netherlands counterpart, says working together for supply chain in Indo-Pacific. Over 9 crore 43 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines administered so far. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad rejects claims of COVID vaccines shortage in the country. Complete lockdown imposed in Raipur district of Chhattisgarh till 19th of April to curb rising cases of coronavirus. All shops in Bihar to remain closed till 30th of April amid rise in COVID-19 cases. Weekend lockdown enforced in all cities of Madhya Pradesh. Elaborate arrangements in place for the 4th phase of assembly elections tomorrow in West Bengal. 11th round of talks between India and China underway at Chushul in eastern Ladakh. Government initiated several key projects for development of infrastructure and industries in eastern region of the country, says Prime Minister. Prince Philip, Husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II passes away at the age of 99. And in cricket, 14th edition of Indian Premier League kicks off in Chennai. Opening match underway between defending champions Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.